Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to side B of episode 20 of Retro Ninja Gaming, where we're covering a few things that I couldn't cover in the original episode. First of all, the footage we're looking at is not from the North American port of RoboCop, but rather the Famicom port. The main differences in the title, just to also toss in a correction at the same time, would be of course a different set of credits at the very start there, including a logo for Deco, so basically I believe Data East Company off the top of my head. Of course, the text in this game would be, except for the menus below, in Japanese rather than in English. And there was some small changes to at least one or two enemies. In terms of the correction I was just mentioning earlier, in the earlier video I had mentioned off the top of my head that in this port it actually only had a limit of 3 Cobra Gun shots. I stand corrected, because after playing through more of the run on this particular thing, just to see if there are any more differences, it turns out no, it's the same 6. Here's one of the big differences though. If you remember from the North American board, this was kind of a guy working an open-ended helicopter, where here it's a fully closed helicopter, albeit a very small one. I can kind of see where that change kind of makes a little more sense. For this next particular clip, we're actually going to show off what the rest of the normal route for Stage 2 looks like. In the original run, you saw me go through this door for a nice bit of a shortcut, but if you were to keep going off to the right, you'd see a lot more general thugs, as well as running into not one, but also a little closer to the staircase leading to the next part of the stage, you'll face off against a second armored thug here. In hindsight, I said it's added a bit more time, but realistically, if you manage to get the armored thug pretty done very carefully, which honestly, if you just block once, or just do a really well sequence of timed punches, you can get through them fairly easily. It doesn't occupy that much more time, it just more risk for damage than anything else. You'll go up that set of stairs and you'll end up back to the same room. This is where the normal route and the shortcut end up joining up. So basically from here on out, the rest of the stage goes as normal. As a side note, yes, you can punch down the spiked wall traps which close you into the wall, although those things respawn last I checked. For this clip, here's proof of concept of what I was talking about for the last stage. In this case, you need to get by roughly this point of the stage with at least 3 enemies on there, and you notice this time around, no armored guard. As long as you get it to the point you can kind of see the door, he won't actually spawn properly, which will save you a lot of time and potentially a lot of damage. Sure, you take an extra hit or two there, but with the amount of time saved, and honestly the fact you're not too worried about damage at this point of the game, you can get through relatively fine. It's a good sacrifice, a nice exchange. And the last thing I want to leave on is one little excerpt from the Ed209 Fight I didn't get to show off, being that he has, or it has, one more attack, where if you're basically standing at point-blank range for long enough, you'll do an awkward and really long telegraphed gun swipe at you. It's easy to dodge under, but if you do get hit, this happens. That's a lot of damage. Thank you ladies and gentlemen for watching, catch you next time.